We're here at NamesCon 2016. I'm joined by Todd Han of Dynadot. Todd, it's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Kevin.
This is your first NamesCon. Tell me about the experience so far and how you've enjoyed it.
Well, actually, I love it. I like how the conference center is set up. There's a lot of traffic to our booth. See a lot of new faces, so actually, I think it's a great event, yeah.
So you founded Dynadot in 2002.
Right.
That's pushing its 15th year now. Tell us about the sea change of the domain industry and what's happened over even just the last few years and where you guys are at now.
Well, when we started the company 2002, we had 3 TLDs, com.net.org. Over the next 5 years, we added maybe 5 more. Biz, Info, Mobi, Asia, Tel. And then in 2014, we added 300 more. It was a sea change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how has the influx of Chinese and Indian investors in the last year or so changed Dynadot, or in terms of not only how you've had to adjust to interact with customers, but just also on a business level?
That's a great point. We actually have been in China for the last 3 years. We have an office there. We have a dev team and we have customer service there. And that wasn't because we knew this was going to happen. We just knew that China was a big market, you know. But like you said, this year China just blew up. I ran the numbers just last week, and our revenue in RMB in 2015 was 20x what it was in 2014. So that's a 2,000% increase.
Incredible, man. That's
I know, right?
Congratulations.
They're just buying everything.
Yeah, that's an incredible growth for you guys. So what are some, I don't know if you can speak of maybe not top secret things, but some changes on your end or some product enhancements or innovations that you hope to enact on the registrar level, or I know you guys have other things like drop catching, and what are some things that we can look forward to as customers?
Probably the biggest thing is just the selection of TLDs we have now. That was a ton of work for us to add, 300 TLDs into our system. So we sell pretty much everything. Our prices are good, and they all come with our control panel, which is, people say it's one of the best in the industry. You can also, taste the new GTLDs if you want. It works with our grace deletion system. We have expired auctions on them, so it's been a year now, so some of them are starting to drop, so you can check out new GTLDs on our auctions. Other stuff, we also do a lot of business on the retail side. We're trying to sell domains to end users as well. That's actually half our business. The other half is selling to domain investors. And so on that side, we have a site builder where you can, you just drag and drop, put images onto the website, write text, and it's online just like that. You don't need to know any HTML. So we have that product. Actually, domainers use that as well, just to throw up something, to do testing, or just to throw up like a for sale page or whatever. And that product is actually free for the first 5 pages. So that took us a couple years to build out. And as far as anything beyond that, it's probably just incremental improvement for this year. We're going to add more GTLDs. We're going to move back to starting to add CCTLDs back into our system.
Speaking of the new extensions, a 2-part question. I'm curious the top performing newer extensions on Dynadot. I'm also curious if you have any favorites of your own.
You can look at it 2 ways in terms of volume, registrations, or in terms of revenue. In terms of volume, I think we sell the most Club and XYZ. In terms of revenue, XYZ's pretty much been discounted the whole time. So even though we sell a lot of it, we don't make as much.
Right.
In terms of revenue, we had surprising results from some of the smaller ones like .1. And that kind of ties in with your previous question. Like this Chinese domainers kind of jumped all over that one for some reason.
I've noticed that.
Yeah,
right. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're one of the top. I think we're number 2 registrar in the world for that one, due to our Chinese customer base. My personal favorite, I really like .ninja. It's just fun, quirky. I think a lot of domains are very serious, like .com, .net, .org, but Ninja is like, well, you can just do whatever with it, It's more fun, I think our industry, is very serious, but it's good to have some fun once in a while.
It's getting maybe a bit of a sense of humor of .lol and
exactly.
other things.
LOL, WTF.
What are some words of advice that you might give a new domainer, someone new to the space?
Talk to the old domainers. They have seen everything already. There was a lot of skepticism by the old timers. And so if I were a domainer, I would talk to them. I mean, they've seen everything. They've seen the tasting come in and leave. They've seen Google clamp down on PPC. They've seen multiple TLDs launch and fail. So all the knowledge is already there. You just have to ask the right people. Yeah.
This is the closing day of the conference. Are there any highlights that you've experienced so far, whether it be keynotes, talks, just meeting people in general and walking around?
So for me, my favorite part is just seeing the friends I've made over the years and also meeting new people. So that's my personal highlight. In terms of the business, I think no question the biggest talking point was the Chinese economy. What I heard was, up till 2010 or 12, everyone was putting their money into real estate in China. And then, around 2012, the government was kind of trying to suppress the price. They raised interest rates. They limited how many properties you could buy. So people started to invest in the stock market. And the market in China, I think it tripled in the last 3 years or something ridiculous like that until the summer. And it had a mini crash. And then last week it crashed again.
Right.
So people can't invest in real estate. They can't invest in stocks. So where's that money going to go? Turns out a lot of it went into domain names, and I think that's what we're seeing. In other asset classes, I've heard fine art, I've heard wine, I've heard precious metals. So that was a real highlight, just like talking to NIC, talking to Chinese domainers, just seeing what they had to say about that. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, we've spoken to a few people who have heard various insights as to whether this either current or hopefully not future turbulence in their markets is going to affect domains, whether more people are going to buy into it or people are going to kind of withdraw from it, from the market. So
yeah, what I heard was as long as the Chinese economy is not doing well, domains will do well. Once the Chinese economy picks up again, they're going to start investing in real estate and stocks again.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll see what happens.
That's what I heard, but I'm not an economist. So.
Neither am I. So I know that Dynadot has a presence on NamePros.
Yes.
We're here with NamePros in partnership with them.
We have CSRs on NamePros for sure. A lot of people are actually more comfortable asking questions amongst their friends on the forums than asking us directly. And we're actually fine with that. We have nothing to hide. If you have a problem and it's our fault, we'll fix it. We're not going to try to cover it up or something. So we're perfectly happy with people discussing things on NamePros. NamePros has been a partners of ours for a long time now. I think even when we just started, people were talking about us on the forums on NamePros. From a business perspective, I mean, we work with NamePros. We do ads on NamePros occasionally when we have like specials or promos. So we're really happy with our relationship with NamePros, and I think they're part of the ecosystem. They're a valuable part of the ecosystem, and so we're very grateful that people like us on NamePros. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it was good to meet you. It's good speaking with you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next year.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate your time.